Just last year, a man from India sliced open his pregnant wife's womb with a sickle to check the gender of the 8-month-old fetus. He wanted to make sure it was a baby boy after the couple had 5 daughters in a row and a priest told them it would be another girl. The baby ended up being a boy, but died as a result of the husband's heinous actions. A woman boarding a flight in Orlando was recently arrested after killing her dog in the airport bathroom. She apparently didn't have the right paperwork for her dog to board and couldn't take it, so she went to the bathroom and drowned it. In 2003, teenage Nevada siblings Bo and Monique Maestas bought some meth but were given salt instead. Outraged, the two went to confront their dealer at his home, but the door was answered by the dealer's young children instead. Despite this, the siblings attacked the children, slitting the throat of a 3-year-old and stabbing her in the head, while a 10-year-old girl was left paralyzed after a knife severed her spinal cord. 19-year-old Bo was sentenced to death, while his 16-year-old sister received life in prison. Following the radiation leak, there are an estimated 150,000 abortions across Eastern Europe due to radiophobia. Many parents didn't want their babies to be born with mutations, even though the risk for most was quite low. Vasily Ignatenko was one of the first firemen to respond to the nuclear leak. After being exposed, he suffered in constant excruciating pain for 18 days before dying. He reportedly excreted blood more than 25 times per day and coughed up pieces of his own organs in those final days. When Pripyat was abandoned, people weren't allowed to bring their pets with them. Instead, firing squads were sent door to door to shoot pet cats and dogs so that they wouldn't transfer the radiation. Local ranchers noticed a dramatic increase in the genetic mutations of their animals following the leak. Some of the abnormalities included extra limbs and body parts in the wrong locations. It's been more than 4 decades since the Chernobyl accident, but experts estimate that Pripyat will remain uninhabitable for another 20,000 years. Baltimore serial killer Joseph Matheny would slay his victims before stripping them of their flesh. He would then mix the human meat with pork and sell it to unassuming customers at his roadside burger stand. Robert Hansen was responsible for the murders of at least 17 women throughout the 70s and 80s. He would first abduct his victims and fly them to his isolated cabin in the Alaskan wilderness, which was only accessible by boat or plane. He would then release them into the wild and hunt them down like animals using a hunting rifle. Nicknamed the Toy Box Killer, David Parker Ray abducted his victims before drugging them. Once they woke up, he played a recording in which he described the torture that they were about to endure over the next few months, much of which involved the use of chains, whips, knives, and surgical tools. He's believed to have tortured and killed more than 60 women in his soundproof trailer. German man Matthias Schlitt was born with a genetic bone disorder that caused his right arm to grow significantly larger than his left. He uses the rare condition to his advantage by working as a professional arm wrestler. Launched in the mid-1980s, the McDonald's McPizza was discontinued in the year 2000. But there's one location in Orlando, Florida that still serves it to this day. The rarest bar in the world was located inside of a 1700-year-old baobab tree in South Africa. The 155-foot-wide trunk could fit a 15-person full bar until the tree tragically fell over in 2017. This rare Australian Wagyu tomahawk is making my tummy growl as we speak. These giant stick insects known as tree lobsters were thought to be wiped out by rats in 1920. But in 2001, 24 of them were found in a small bush on an island called Ball's Pyramid. No one knows how they got there, but they were the last known survivors of the species at the time. In 2020, a sunbathing mom from Georgia was just seconds away from being crushed to death by a falling tree. If her son hadn't told her to run, she most likely would have died instantly. A Texas man was chasing a rattlesnake on his lawn that eventually slithered underneath his old shed. Upon investigating with a forklift, he discovered that it was completely infested with dozens of rattlesnakes. And finally, this is why you should always check the toilet bowl before plopping down on the seat. Yep, that's a scorpion. And apparently you shouldn't flush a scorpion down the toilet since they could survive in water for like 2 days. Travis the Intelligent Chimpanzee was an animal actor who appeared in several TV shows and commercials. His owner Sandra slept and bathed with him every day and saw him as the son she never had. That was until 2009 when the 200-pound chimp went on a rampage and severely mutilated Sandra's friend before he was killed by police. Mark Dumas has a pet polar bear that purrs when he's around. They wrestle each other, swim together, and even sleep together. In the 1950s, a Texas businessman got a lion named Blondie as a family pet. She often gave rides to the kids and died of old age as a beloved member of the family. In 1989, a Costa Rican fisherman rescued a dying crocodile and they instantly became friends for life. They performed together for more than 20 years without a single incident or attack. A man from South Africa adopted a baby hippo after it was rescued from a river. 5 years later, the hippo dragged him into that same river and mauled him to death. In 2016, comedian Patton Oswalt lost his wife, true crime writer Michelle McNamara, after she died unexpectedly in her sleep at their California home. She'd spent years obsessively researching an unidentified serial killer and rapist she helped popularize under the name Golden State Killer. After her death, Oswalt worked to publish her unfinished book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. 2 years later, investigators arrested Joseph James D'Angelo, linking him to at least 13 murders and dozens of rapes that had terrorized California for decades. Declawing a cat is far more horrific than simply removing its claws. The procedure amputates the last bone of each toe, essentially the feline equivalent of cutting off a human finger at the last knuckle. Because cats walk directly on their toes, declawing can cause chronic pain, nerve damage, arthritis, and lifelong mobility issues. Due to animal welfare concerns, the practice has been banned or heavily restricted in much of Europe, though it still remains legal in most parts of the United States. Real skeletons were used while filming the first Poltergeist because it was cheaper than making prop ones at the time. The woman who acted in this creepy scene wasn't told they were real until after the shooting was finished. Many people believe that using these real skeletons caused the set to become cursed. For example, while filming the creepy clown doll scene, the doll nearly killed Robbie Freeling when an animatronic error caused his arm to quickly tighten around the boy's neck. When the young actor started gesturing that he couldn't breathe, Steven Spielberg thought it was just really good acting. While his life was spared, multiple actors from the movie series weren't so lucky. Dominique Dunne, who played the older sister in the first film, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend right after the movie premiered. In 1988, the little girl who played Carol Ann died of cardiac arrest at the young age of 12. The actor who played the evil preacher in Poltergeist 2 died of stomach cancer just after they finished filming. And the actor who played the Native American shaman died soon afterwards during a heart-lung transplant. In 2019, a 7-year-old Indian boy was admitted to the hospital after complaining of severe jaw pain. Doctors were astonished to find 526 teeth in his mouth as a result of an extremely rare dental condition. In 1969, a drunken Richard Nixon ordered a nuclear strike on North Korea for shooting down a spy plane. Luckily, his national security advisor Henry Kissinger also got on the phone with the Joint Chiefs and convinced them to stand down on that order until Nixon woke up sober the next morning. If you feed a human body to pigs, they will eat just about all of it except for the teeth. Several murderers in rural areas have used this fact to their advantage. Towards the end of World War II, Japan was planning on spreading a plague across America. The plan was to send hundreds of kamikaze pilots with planes full of plague-ridden fleas to the coastline of California. But the plan was never carried out because Japan was forced to surrender 5 weeks before they were gonna do it.